Greetings, dear ones.
Greetings, Merlin.
Good to be with you.
It's good to be with you, too.
There is a lightness in the air.
There is. It's been a very good day.
Good. You are still reflecting on past information.
I am.
Words that have been spoken are revolving around you and in you, and, dear one, creating insight for you. As you continue to scribe your teachings, you will find soon there is, how you say, like a lightning bolt of inspiration that comes to you, giving you more to share with those who view you and seek your help.
Oh, thank you.
You are welcome. Dear one, when you or any, they are coming from the box, yes?
Yes, you have an audience in the box today. Me here in person, and the box is busy.
When humans have insight to ask questions about circumstance in their life, they must examine their perspective on the situation that inspires them to ask those questions. For within the mind of the human, they are experiencing feelings and thoughts regarding issues and situations that may be perplexing to them, and they do not quite have the perspective, or how you say, the viewpoint of the circumstance to see it clearly for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important for humans to recognize before they ask, what is it that they are feeling about what they are asking about. When they ask about a situation, and usually humans wish to know the outcome before it occurs, and spirits do not know the outcome before it occurs. Spirit is simply in no time at all. Do you understand?
Yes.
Spirit is not looking to create your future. Spirit simply has a viewpoint of your circumstances as elevated, allowing Spirit to see from all directions that you can't. But that does not determine the outcome. It simply is a viewpoint on all the possible choices of the decision. You see?
I do.
For as simple as an individual can be seeking what food to put in their belly, and they have many choices, and that food will create a reaction, which is a level of satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the choice.
Mm-hmm.
This may be, how you say, oversimplification of something more complex with regard to a romantic endeavor or a life-changing decision as an occupational shift, creating a movement to another location, a new home. These are major decisions, whether to procreate at a time and create offspring.
Mm-hmm.
That one must examine the feeling inside when they ask a question. How do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel sickened? Are you angry when you ask a question, you see?
I do see, but I'm going to ask you a question, Merlin. I have worked with so many people and talked with so many people. The people in this time, they're coming from so much fear, and they have a tendency to shut their feelings off, the challenging feelings, and they push them aside.
Yes.
Well, when they do that, they don't know how to come from their feelings.
Dear one, they do have feelings.
Yes.
but they are not wishing to look.
Yes.
And within the realm of decisions that humans make, there is nothing so scary that one cannot look. But it is within them, the child in them, who becomes scared easily. And it is not the circumstance that they fear. It is the fear of a less than desirable outcome. And when humans, in a time as such, where you have been facing challenges and limitations, when humans wish not to look or seek the truth or hear the truth, they have created a comfort level with their fear. And that becomes what they know. An individual can live in a shack. They can live in a castle. It is simply how comfortable they are within that environment, you see?
Yes.
And as you, dear one, create a comfort level within your consciousness, you are not always as conscious, yes?
Yes.
But you have chosen to grow in time. Every individual makes a choice as to how they wish to grow or retard their progress by lingering in situations, circumstances, problems, ill health, and allowing themselves to receive pity from those around them that, in their mind, allows them to feel better, for they are gaining attention with the pity that they receive. The pity does not make one better. It does not make one grow. It does not put more money in one's purse, you see. And so when humans want to hide their eyes, that is how part of how they get attention. And every human wants attention in some way, shape, or form. But when the human is hiding their eyes, they are not seeing what they need to see.
Right.
And this is a time, dear ones, where your eyes must be open. You must be paying attention to what you are hearing, what you are seeing, and whether you view the box repeatedly or infrequently, it is wise to have information so you may discern what is your truth or untruth. For you can feel in your heart what is transpiring. And with all individuals, what may be in accordance with the pattern of their life may not be for another individual. That is why individuals agree and disagree on topics, circumstances, even food, dear one. Everyone has a different, how you say, palate. Everyone has a different taste for what they enjoy. But this is not a time to run and hide, for running and hiding, humans, is what has got you to this point. You see?
Yes.
And now you face dire times where it is very necessary that you seek the truth, like it or not. And while this is a time that may seem somewhat dark, the light is coming. And the light shall shine upon you, and you will feel that this is the time where things get better. And there are those the light will shine upon, and they will try to hide from the light. And the light is the truth. And there are those who do not want truth. They are the purveyors of the darkness. And not in how you say darkness as in evil spirits, And those of us on this side, we do not recognize what humans refer to as evil spirits. That a topic for another time, dear one.
Okay, I'll remind you another time.
The dark meaning the absence of light, the inability to see, where you are shrouded from truth. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
The light is coming, and when the light shines, it will illuminate and reveal all that is necessary for continuing life moving forward, and the restoration of the human condition as it is meant to be. You understand?
I do. I like that.
Good.
I think there's a lot of people that do not understand that they are not in a restored mode, that their freedoms are limited, that, you know, they're not living as we're intended to live. I think that's something that they think that it's just their lot in life or something that they have to be a part of or do.
And they shall continue to go about their lives as they do.
Mm.
There are those, dear ones, who seek and attain prosperity in all aspects of their life. And there are those who see life as poverty. And that is a choice. Even when one loses something, they can recover it or recover something better.
Right.
When one lets go of something, there is something else to be had, to be gotten. This is what humans must learn, that everything is eternally moving, and if something passes you by, it is not gone or lost, that something else shall encircle you, and you'll be able to grasp something good. But it is time for humans to recognize that there is good. As if the apple on the tree that is weighed heavy with its fruit, the branches bend, begging to be picked. Do you understand?
Yes.
And this is a time that the fruit needs to be picked. But you must look at the tree instead of eyes down at the ground. See what nature is providing. This is a cycle of life, and it is not terrible. But humans must claim life as they wish it to be, not as it is imposed upon them. When situations challenge humans, that is when they grow the most.
Yes.
Dear ones, you must understand something. This is evidenced in your time now. There are attempts to thwart the growth of the human population. It is in action. And as humans are sequestered, those who are of means procreate more. Your population will not shrink at this time, dear ones, as is ill-intended. It shall grow. Man means to grow and expand, and so he shall. Do you understand?
Yes.
Man is inhabited by soul, and soul is not limited. Soul is intangible, and yet it is everything. And you are a soul that has taken physical form. And even though you recognize limitation, laws of physics, you have the ability to go beyond. For the soul knows no limitation. You are a merger of physical and non-physical, and it is grand. You are amazing beings, but you must realize that.
Yes. You said something when you were here the other day about how we are like stars in the universe. That was so profound. Could you repeat that?
I shall say what I say. Nothing is repeated.
Okay.
The human condition relates to what humans call past lives, and that does not exist. For you are referring to a non-physical aspect of yourself. You are physical as you know you are for the mind that inhabits this physicality connected to this body. It is what you know. However, there is an awareness in your philosophies that you have these other beings that are at other times, so to speak. When you, dear ones, are standing outside your abodes, gazing at the cosmos, when the night is clear, you can see the most distant stars. And as you gaze into the sky without restriction, every beam of light that you see is you at some place in the universe. When you gaze out, you are seeing where you are everywhere. It is you. And those beams of light from other galaxies and solar systems and stars gaze back at you in wonder. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are the universe, dear ones. And so you shall be.
That's beautiful. Merlin, is there anything else before our time runs out with you that you would like for us to know?
Have faith in yourselves, dear one. Allow yourselves not to be trampled upon. And if it is your time to, as you say, and at times, dear ones, with tongue-in-cheek, to storm the castle, then you do so. But keep your minds, dear one. Keep your sanity. Behave within who you are in your truth, and you shall know the truth. And some will know whether they like it or not. It is your time to ascend, dear ones. You're not going back to the way it was. You're not traveling in time, dear ones. You have not learned that yet. You are simply moving into a new time in a new earth. This is your time. Make it so.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, dear ones.
Always a pleasure.
And we shall speak again.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you from our books. That was very profound. It's a lot to digest, huh? I'm going to have to watch that again. Hello.
Hello.
Again with his profound wisdom. That was amazing.
Okay.
I will tell you about it.
I'm sure.
So Nick never really watches himself afterwards. I think he's seen maybe like 2 minutes of him channeling. So I have to kind of give him a briefing afterwards, which I'll do after we're off of here. So in the last 10 minutes, I wanted to say one of the things that he was talking about looking out at the stars, and we have all of these versions of ourselves. It's not exactly the same thing, but I have a book club that I've started, and we're going to be having a night on Wednesday, September 3rd, and it's going to be either Zoom or it will be in person here. And the book is by a fellow by the name of Matt Haig, and it is called The Midnight Library. Highly recommend it. It's, if nothing else, it'll get you thinking. It's really great for perception. And I have had a few of my clients read it, and really was profound in their lives. So read the book. You can read it on Audible. It's with a really great author. Narrator, and she's an actress as well, so she reads it very well, so you can listen to it while you're driving or doing whatever, walking, whatever. Anyway, that being said, I wanted to share something else that has been on my mind. So I know that a lot of you know that since this whole thing started, I've been looking at a lot of different bits of information. And I've said to many of you that it's a good idea to not only watch the news on the TV, but look at a lot of different options, look at a lot of different sources of information. And over this period of time, in looking at all of these, I can't even express to you how much information I've been looking at. There's this bit of information that I was looking at that was referring to, believe it or not, the Bible. So I grew up a Southern Baptist, took myself and my brother to church because I was the only one out of a class that didn't raise their hand along with this other kid. So I went home and told my brother we should be going to church. And I attended a Baptist church for years until I recognized within that particular church there was a lot of dysfunction and hypocrisy and whatever. So it was really such a turnoff that for the longest time I couldn't even listen to the word God. It was, I would read a book and I would see that word and I would shut it. And it was a long time before I came to understanding what now is my version of God. And it is this divine intelligence that we live in that moves through us as us. So when Merlin is talking about us in the way that he was saying to own our power, it's to recognize that this is just the vehicle. And God moves through us. The universe moves through us. This intelligence is something that we create with, which is why it's so important to really own our emotions and to be able to look at those things that create fear, anger, anxiety, whatever those things are, and recognize them for the illusion that they are. So as I'm listening to all this information, I'm looking at these various people that are saying that this moment that we're in is biblical. So I started looking at that, and I started doing more information seeking within that Bible, different versions of the Bible. And one of the things that I came across is what I wanted to share with you tonight. And it's that quote from the Bible. I'm posting it, actually. I've already put it on my website. I'm creating a blog about it. But it's that part of the Bible that says, take on the armor of God. And along with posting that, I have one of my primary teachers in my spirituality, Ernest Holmes, who wrote The Science of Mind. He, in the back of The Science of Mind, he has interpretations of different quotes in the Bible. And funny enough, I didn't even think of doing it. Spirit kind of guided me. That book was in a place where I needed to move it, and I was like, oh, here's this book. So I just set it on my desk. And then when I was looking at this Bible quote, it was like, oh, wonder if Ernest Holmes has anything to say about it. And then here in the back of his book. So I posted that as well. But there's my Audrey version of it. When it says to put on the armor of God, we're in a moment right now where there is, like what Merlin was saying, there is so much that is untrue, and it's important for us all to find what is true, what's true for us. And if it's creating fear within us, a lot of times it's not true. It's been to invoke fear. And when we're in fear, we're not thinking clearly, which means we can't make conscious, critical thinking kind of decisions. So when it says to put on the full armor of God, what I do, and I can only say what I do, I'm pretty sure he does it too, I wrap myself in a bubble of immunity, and I know that I am always divinely protected. I know that divine right action is taking place in my life. I know that my faith leads me. So not my fear, but my faith. So I have faith that all these things that I'm hearing, that we are moving into a much better time for all humanity. That divine right action is taking place for all humanity. That we are moving into a time where mankind, humankind, is moving into and owning that ability to really do what's right for everyone. So when we're putting on that armor of God, whatever your version of God is, if there is some sort of fear that is leading the way, there's this moment where you get to take a look at it and understand this is just what had been or what it looks like in this moment, but it's not the future. As Merlin was just saying, we're creating the future, and you're either doing it from a place of fear or faith. So having that faith and putting on the armor of God, put on your bubble of immunity. Know that divine right action's taking place. Humanity, we're all moving forward. Let's do it consciously with critical thinking. We have 3 more minutes. What would you like to say?
I don't know. I'm still kind of, remember I come back in from Merlin and kind of...
He's still...
Well, I do, what we do need to say, actually, is next week's show. That's what we need to talk
yes.
about.
Very good show
and
coming
talk
up
about,
next week.
Show pertinent to the times. Back next week is Dr. Kimberly Bennett, who has been on the show a good 4 or 5 times, and she will be touching on what is pertinent in health, and also there is something that she created, and Dr. Bennett, I think she'll be able to talk about this. There's she calls them remedies.
Yeah.
She was given guidance from Merlin.
All right, so I'm going to tell you that part because it was fascinating. Nick is driving in the car, right? He's driving in the car and he's on a conversation with Kimberly. He tells me the story afterwards. So as he's driving and they're talking about whatever, all of a sudden Merlin starts telling Nick, do this, have her do this. And Nick is literally hearing it and then telling Kimberly, and he's saying stuff about like mitochondria and different things, which Nick knows nothing about any of that.
Well, and the funny thing is because Dr. Bennett has her own level of inspiration and intuition. It's not all left-brained, and when Merlin was saying some of these things, she was saying back to me, well, I am looking at that. It was very fascinating. So it's not that Merlin created it, but there were some things that he said to her that solidified and helped the process and took it to the level that it needed to be. So that was one of those things. Now, what's that like for me? Well, I'm on the phone, and imagine instead of Audrey sitting beside me in the car, it's Merlin there. So he's not a backseat driver.
I thought that was fascinating. When he came home and told me that, it was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Right. It's just amazing. And she posted something and she said divine, inspiration, her own and, I guess Merlin as well.
One of the things I do want to say to everyone too, I've been channeling Merlin since about 1995, 6, somewhere in there. And it's an honor to be chosen to have a spirit want to come through you.
Yeah.
And Alexandra would tell you the same thing. Channeling the golden arrow spirits. I mean, We don't take it for granted. We're not jaded by it. We are in a very healthy awe of it, that we're able to do this.
Yeah.
And we just let them say what they need to say. We don't direct it, manipulate it, anything like that. Whatever they say is what they say. And so it's very special to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm very, very grateful. And I'm also very grateful for the hour that we've been able to spend with you. Unfortunately, we do have to get going. Please tune in this coming Thursday night, Mind Tripping.
Yeah, with me, and I will have Carmen Mormino on, and I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about. He's actually coming here tomorrow to tell me. He's had quite the moment, and he's going to want to share it with us.
And he's had some inspirational things that will work very well with, you know, what you do.
Yeah.
And then we will be back on next Tuesday night with Dr. Bennett.
Yep.
So anyway, thank you everyone for watching as always. We'll see you next week. You know, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a good night, everyone.
Love you lots.
Bye.
Bye-bye.